All right. Hi, my name is Daniel, and I'll be doing most of the presenting here for this webinar today. First, before we start, I'd like to welcome you all, and I'd like to thank you all for attending this webinar. This webinar is going to be a little bit different format from our previous ones. Whereas most of the time we spent, quite a bit of time presenting and then just open up questions after that, we want to have a more brief presentation this time, just sort of run through a few topics quickly and then open the floor to whatever sort of questions any of you might have, sort of have an extended open question and answer. That being said, today we're going to be talking about a few things. So as you can see displayed here, we're going to be talking about the Starlight technology in our camera. Sorry, 1 second here. If you, just gonna let. Okay, so yeah, today we'll be talking about Starlight technology for low light vision in our cameras. Our EasyView remote surveillance app has also been updated over the new year, and we'll be talking about some of the new features and changes in that. And we'll be introducing you just briefly to our new Facebook support, which will be launching at the end of February. So if you end up having a question during the presentation, I'm going to ask you to please just hold on to that, and we'll run through each of the questions right at the end. If you see, I'm going to be using a couple of slides, videos, whatnot during the presentation. Don't worry if you don't get a chance to look at them during the presentation, because we're going to bundle those up and send them to you after the webinar is complete. And they'll also be available for download on our website, pedowise.com/training. I'll show you the link to that afterwards, but there'll also be a recording of the webinar available. So let's get started. First topic I want to talk about what is Starlight. And Starlight is actually the technology built into some of our cameras to allow for extremely high quality images at very low illumination levels. So you can see here, we have a couple of features, and here's just a quick screenshot of a couple of videos for you later of the difference in low light between normal camera vision and Starlight StarView. So I actually have Dexter here with me, and I'm going to let him run through a couple more of the features of the Starlight cameras. So here you go, Dexter.
All right, okay, excellent. Thank you, Daniel. And hi, everyone, and welcome to join our webinar in here. So I will primarily focus to talk about, this is a new product we are very excited to introduce to the market for year 2018. As the industry going towards that, I see that the trend is where go high definition, and so that's where we get from our the 2 megapixel and coming to the 4 megapixel. Now we also have a 4K resolution, and I think another demand for that is how can we really to deliver shining and a clearer quality image during the day and night. So that's where I kind of demands for the Starlight. So as you can see right now, so this is our latest, the 2 megapixel Super Starlight. So the reason why we put a super word in here is so actually, so this is our latest generation. So there's an additional enhancement compared with some of our Starlight product, which was been launched in year 2017. So this is the form of the camera. It looks like it's built in, it's all included. We call this standard bullet format, right? So as you probably can see right now, so in here is that's how the camera looks like. So we're going to roll out the two type of a camera. One is the fixed lens, so you're going to have a choice of the 4mm lens and a 6mm lens, right? And another one is the motorized varifocal. So you have a range from the 2.8 up to 15 millimeters. So that one is to be released in about a month's time. So as for today, this IPC 2222ER5 is ready for for you to order and for you to use in your project. So a couple of the highlight feature. Daniel, I'm just wondering whether you can, if you can kind of zoom in, like some of the maybe the key features in here. Are you able to do that? Okay, some of the key features in here is like I will see that. So this is a camera has a equipped with a higher performance, the IR. So this ER5 stand for like this infrared. It can go up to 50 meters. Our standard camera will normally has a 30 meters range of infrared. So I also want to kind of add some clarification in here. Is this is a super starlight camera, right? It doesn't mean it's like it will hold on the colorful image as as long as they can. But if it's really totally dark, and this camera will automatically switch into the night mode, which is so they're gonna switch into the black and white, and also IR is gonna turn it on. So really, you're gonna have like 100% coverage during the day and night, right? So I think this is a part in here, and also like this is like if I can see right now in here, this is maybe 0.000. It's hard for me to even read how many zeros in front of that, the lux. So the data sheet is in here. So the next thing is that like Daniel, I will ask you to we prepared 2 demo video. So the first one is kind of comparison. So it's in the same site. It's comparison when I using the iPhone. So when we're using the iPhone 7S, and we put it side by side with this IPC 2222. Put them side by side, as you can see, like what's the difference in terms from the video quality. So as you probably can see, it's really dark. That's the side. So with the traditional iPhone 7, I barely can see anything in there, right? So that's basically tell us like what kind of illumination, what kind of a site we are looking to. So as you can see right now, so from the other side, this is from the IPC 2222. You got a very clear, colorful image, and I think the minimum noise, everything stuff is all the pictures are clear. So this is a comparison about iPhone 7 and our like a super starlight camera. So the next one, which we put in the comparison, is the standard like video 7 squid, the no light IPC IP camera, as you can see right now in here. Okay, go ahead, play. All right. Okay, great. So I think as all we can see right now in here, so this is super starlight, the camera, it does deliver much clearer, colorful information in the no light condition, right? So we also prepare some kind of comparison sheet in here. So comparison like a picture snapshot. So I will explain to you a little bit more about okay, what's the benefit for us when we're using the starlight the camera. As you can see right now, this is a typical like installation where the camera is to do the wall mount, looking front, right? So as you can see right now, so maybe I think 1/3 of section of this picture is the wall, and in the nighttime when it's getting dark, the camera has to turn on the IR. So because there is a right away, there's a reflection from the wall, which is causing the whole picture on the right section is much brighter. It also forces the camera to prevent like a overexposure. It's going to force the camera to reduce its iris. And so what you can see right now is actually, so we see much clearer on the wall, but we are not able to see much useful information on the street, where actually I'm more interested about what's happening on the street, on the parking lot. So the next snapshot in here, this is in the same spot, but when we're using the starlight camera, because we still have a limited illumination on the side. There's a star, maybe probably the moon, or maybe the street light. As you can see, because the starlight is stay in color, so the infrared actually is not being turning on. And as you can see right now, so you really have a clarity image from the parking lot on the street and all the detail in here. So you can see that compared with the previous one, with the standard when the IR has to be turning on, and the new starlight. So you can clearly see the the difference. Like so when you have some camera have to do the outdoor installation amount. How about we go to the next snapshot? Okay, so this is captured from one of our customer sites, right? And so they have this is a standard camera. That's where we know in Canada our license plate is reflective, right? So when you get the IR turning on, what's going to happen in that is, so while we can see what's happening on the car, but because of the license plate is like a mirror to the infrared, so it's going to wash out the image. So you will not be able to, as you can see right now in here, you will not be able to see the license plate at all. So the whole license plate area is totally washed out. So another one, so this one in here is for the privacy reasons, we kind of mask the portion of the license plate. Daniel, is it possible for us to zoom in? For that, just zoom into the license plate area. I don't know. Okay, I don't know whether we can do. But what I'm trying to explain to you right now in here right now is because we don't need to turn on the infrared, and there is no the washout on the license plate. So if we can do the zoom in, okay. So from the, I think from the, let's take a look at from the. All right. If you look into your WebEx in here, so I think there is kind of a magnify icon, zoom in and zoom out. If you zoom in, well, I can see it right now. So see first this there is the license plate. The last 3 digits is 466. So I can clearly see the license plate number. So identification is a very, very important feature and a functionality requirement in the video surveillance, right? So what's the point for you to see, okay, I can see the vehicle in there, but I cannot tell the license plate. So, and I think we just kind of presented to you about this super starlight as one of the solution for, for some kind of application. If you want to clearly see the people, like particularly their ID, like what kind of color of their their clothes, and for the vehicle and what kind of license plate. We truly believe the super starlight camera will be a very good solution for you to consider.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dexter.
Yeah.
It's great. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is I'm sure many of you are already aware, but our EasyView remote surveillance app has actually been updated over the new year, and there are quite a few new and useful features that have been introduced with that. So I have a couple slides here. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of some of the new features and changes that have been introduced. So if we see here, you can see that the interface has been changed somewhat, but here in our live view, when we're looking at just the camera display, if you recall before, if you want to change the quality of the actual stream coming to the phone from the cameras, you would have to press a certain button to bring up this clear, balanced, smooth swap here. And this has actually been changed, so now this is always available. You'll always have the switch available from the live view screen. And we changed the names from clear, balanced, and smooth to HD, SD, and smooth, so it better reflects what actually is going on. We have a high definition stream, a standard definition stream, or one that's just smooth, lower quality. We've also added some things to the actual camera search. So if you go to add a camera to your view in live view, you'll see now that up at the top you can search for a specific device name. So if you have many cameras added to EasyView, you'll be able to search and quickly find the one you're looking for. And also to help you find the one that you're looking for, you'll see that they have small thumbnail previews of what the camera is seeing, and these are actually taken from the last thing that the camera saw. So you'll be able to quickly identify from visual which camera is which, even if they're not properly named. Here we also have, for the playback, if you're viewing playback of the cameras on EasyView, you'll see that prior to this, if you wanted to change the quality of the playback, you want to change it from the main stream to a third stream, you would have to go in and adjust the settings on the device menu in EasyView. But here you just quickly tap between clear and smooth to see whether you want, higher quality image or data saving, and we can now zoom in on the playback bar with a gesture to more accurately determine where we want the playback to be. Another useful one we have here is if you're trying to go add a device, you'll see that if you're not logged in, because you have a couple of ways to add the device, you can add auto search, or we want to do the scan. But the scan requires you, of course, to be logged into your EasyCloud account. If you're not logged in, trying to add a device will now show you here. You can see this middle image here shows you, it'll give you a prompt to log in. And then once you're logged in, and they'll give you the scan after that. So just sort of a reminder to say, if you want to use this feature, you need to be logged in. We've also enhanced the interface because prior to this, if you were using a landscape view of the app, you would only be able to view the cameras in live view. You would not be able to change any of the settings or open up the menus. But it's been redesigned so that it supports full cross-screen function. So now whatever you want to do, any of the settings menus, any of the view can be done both on iOS and on Android in landscape and in portrait. And this is a really useful feature that I think has been added to it. In this one, if you have your EasyView on your phone and it's connected to the same Wi-Fi network that an NVR has been added to, it will automatically search the network and find any NVR devices on the network. So if your NVR is on a customer's network and you have the phone on the same Wi-Fi network, instead of having to go and scan it or any kind of other register codes, it will automatically find it and prompt you to say, do you want to add this? And moreover from that, if you're logged in, it will give you the prompt directly to add it to your cloud account. But even if you're not logged in, I found sometimes customers can be a little bit confused whether they try to add the device, they haven't created an account or something along those lines. And in this case, if you try to add it using this automatic search and you're not logged in, you'll actually be given a prompt to log in before, and then it'll take you back to the automatic adding. So, I feel like a lot of the updates here have been focused on making a more natural flow to things. So there's no kind of, things that are unintuitive. It's supposed to be, that the process will flow. You'll go there, it'll be added in, and everything will sort of be taken care of, given to you as you need it. Another quick feature is there's a quick button down at the bottom where you can swap between live view and playback. If you're on the live view screen, you tap the button, it'll jump you to playback. And this switch will actually preserve which camera you're on. So if you have a certain camera selected and you're viewing the live view from that, you will actually, if you press the playback button, that will actually keep on that same camera. You don't need to select it again, and it'll go to 30 minutes prior to the live view. So you can quickly I want to see the past history on this camera. Another couple more prompting tips just to sort of help with operation. Someone who's not familiar with the device. If you're in live view, a lot of the times I find customers will add a device in and then they'll go to live view and they'll be confused because there's no cameras coming up. They don't see anything, but that's because they haven't added the cameras to the live view. And here you'll now be prompted saying, oh, no device has been added to live view, and it'll prompt you to add a device. Another one is when scanning the QR code, sometimes it will fail to scan due to the light level being too low. It needs good illumination in order to scan that code. And if the camera detects that the light level is too low, it'll prompt you to just tap and turn on the flashlight of the phone if it has that available, and you'll probably have a bit easier time scanning the QR code. Also, if you have a list of devices here, and you want to view live view. Before, you would have to go to the live view screen, select the cameras from the device, and start it up. Now you can just tap a device, tap start live view, and that will start live view with all the cameras for that device. Just, easier operation, less steps to go through to get what you want done. There's also been a couple video tutorials added to EasyView. So if you've never launched the app before and you try to go into live view, you'll be given an option to view a video tutorial, just sort of running through the basic steps of it to familiarize a new user with the basic functions of the app. And on Android only, there's been a feedback section added to the help, which will go and send information to UniView if you have, some sort of error with the app, and that'll go directly to them. So there are a couple more features that have been added to EasyView, but these are the main sort of useful features that I thought I would want to run over here. So the last point I really want to talk about before I'm going to open up to questions is our support team was kind of considering, how can we better assist our partners and provide them, more fluid updates, assistance, and troubleshooting for our cameras and our NVRs. And so when we were thinking about this, we were thinking we want to have a method that's persistent so people can always refer back to it, but we also want it to be quick to access. We want it to just not take up a lot of time. And the most important thing we considered was how can we introduce something like this that will sort of seamlessly integrate with the things people already do. They won't have to, do anything out of the ordinary to get access to it. So we decided that one of the best ways that we could potentially do this is through implementing a instant messaging support chat using Facebook Messenger. So this is still under the works, but we're scheduling this to be launched at the end of February. So all you'll need in the end to join this to participate is a Facebook account. And we will keep you updated through email and on our website as to whether we have more information as to how you can get to participate and join into that. So that's like I said, a little bit shorter today. Just run over a few things. That covers everything that I want to talk about. But I hope that you've brought any questions that you have for us. It can be about a topic that we talked about today, or it can be about anything related to our cameras or NVRs. So go ahead with any questions that you have. You can type them in chat or speak up. Either is fine. So so I have a question here. It says, is the Super Starlight the same illumination as regular Starlight camera or different? And it actually is an enhanced version of the original Starlight. So this is actually different than the original Starlight. It's a more comprehensive, better illumination than the first one.
Hey Daniel, I think I want to kind of talk about the one of the kind of inquiry I heard quite often. Okay. I think is also applicable to quite a lot of people in the field. Is sometimes we may get a requirement to back up video for I would say quite a lot of time, right? We'll talk about it. There's one time there's a requirement to see, well, for certain purpose, the customer wanted us to see, okay, well, can you tell me, is there any solution for me to back up of about 6 hours video from three different cameras, right, in their NVR? So we did a rough calculation for the 6 hours of video and for the three different high definition camera. Like that's about, I think that's about anywhere about 6 hours. It's about 17 to 18 gigabyte the size of data, and so traditionally, and so our NVR, we also have a functionality to do. We can do the backup, like you can put the USB, or you can use like maybe the browser, log into the NVR, then try to download the video from there, right? So it's okay. I think when you handle a couple of minutes video, or maybe up to an hour video, and for one or two camera, that's fine. But for that 18 gigabyte of data, it's quite a big challenge. So just for the kind of sharing the information, and with the help from the engineer, and so we were being told that right now actually, so you can use there's some kind of available, like maybe the USB hard drive station. So what does it mean is actually, so you can put a regular hard drive into this USB hard drive station, and I think so far right now the software can support up to 2 terabyte. So you can plug into this USB into our USB 3.0, the connector on the back of the NVR, and so we did that kind of job of a 3 camera 6 hour video. So we can search, we can choose the 3 camera, and so we can choose the time up to 6 hours. And then we do the search. The NVR is helping us to find all the video. It's the output format is motion MP4 file. Each video is being kind of more like a kind of in the size around 250 megabyte. So this is give us maybe around. So eventually I see like we got maybe around somewhere close to 100 different file, and so we were able to just kind of back up those all 18 gigabyte of video in about, I think, in about 20 minutes. So it's way much easier, and it's way much efficient compared with like if I have to try to log in through the browser using my computer to do that. It's much faster, and also it's easy to do that.
Yeah, I do know that a lot of people have that requirement where they need a longer archive of something, and that is a good solution to get that done. So do we have does anyone have any more questions? Again, feel free, just any question, any topic related to our cameras or NVR, just you can go ahead and type it in chat or speak up if you'd like. Okay, so I have one question here, and we have a question that says, do you have PTZ cameras that support power over Ethernet? And in the past, we did not have any that supported just power over Ethernet. We had to have dedicated power supply provision, but we've actually introduced a couple new models that are fully powered over power over Ethernet using the new PoE++ to allow them to get in full power over Ethernet, no dedicated power supply required for them. So you just run Ethernet to the camera, and that gives you your video and full power for PTZ camera.
I think I can answer that question. There's one of question asking about, well, the question is, I know you can use the Internet Explorer and Google Chrome when connected to EasyCloud. Do you see Firefox browser be used in the future? So to answer that question is, so as a matter of fact, is all the major browser, you should be able to log into the NVR. You should be able to see browsers through all the menu. But in order for us to kind of support the video or video play in the browser, it does require certain plugin. So unfortunately, this plugin as of today right now is not being supported by other browser other than the Internet Explorer. So I think even for the Google Chrome, it is not truly the Google Chrome supported. So you can download some kind of the kind of plugin is a kind of Internet Explorer emulation, that kind of things, right? And so this is more towards to, as of for today, this is like a kind of reality of what's happening right now in our industry, the whole CCTV industry. And I don't think the primary reason is because the technology getting advanced. So we got we have H.264, I think, which is majority of browsers being supported that. But I think with more and more devices now starting to use H.265 with some of smart codec, and so this causing challenge or causing maybe the compatibility issue with other browser other than the Internet Explorer. So I would still recommend our first bet. So when you try to use a browser to access NVR and try to pull the video, my first recommendation still is Internet Explorer.
Okay. I have another question here. So I have a question that says, when sharing a cloud device, I have a choice to make the user role admin or default. What is the difference between the two? So we actually have a longer explanation if you want to take a look at our first webinar, which is all about EasyCloud. There's a longer sort of detailed explanation of that question, but I'm going to give a quick rundown. So when you're sharing a user on EasyCloud or on EasyView, you're going to see that there's three options. You're going to have the one option to share to, and that's going to be the username of who you're sharing it to. You're going to have the valid date, and that's going to be your duration of the share, so that's when it'll expire. And the last one, which isn't really necessarily very intuitive, you have the permission role. That'll be an option by default. That'll say either admin or default. And what this actually refers to is a certain user account on the NVR. So locally, if you're configuring the NVR, you have by default the admin user, and you can also create new users and give them a certain level of permission. So if I want to create, let's say an employee account on the NVR, I can make it so they can only view the cameras. They can't access them using it from a computer. So when you're sharing the device on the EasyCloud, that share permission option is actually referring to the local accounts in the NVR. And when you share using one of those accounts, you're actually going to be giving whatever permissions you granted to those accounts through the share. So if you select admin when you're sharing it to someone, you're going to be giving them all the permissions that the local admin account has on the NVR. So if you want to share it to somebody you don't want them to have access to edit the cameras, change configuration, all sort of thing, you shouldn't be sharing it with admin. What you need to do is you need to actually set it up with a new account on the NVR locally, set whatever permissions you want the share to have. So let's say view all the cameras but not change anything. You can set that up as a permission, and then you can adjust that, and you'll see when you're going to share it on EasyCloud that you can actually select this new user to create. So if you call the employee on the NVR, when you go to share it, you'll see another option will appear there, employee, and then you give it with them with the employee share, and they'll only have the permissions that you gave them, and you can do as many as you want for the shares. Like I said, there's a sort of longer, detailed explanation of that back in our first webinar, which is available on our website. I'll actually pull that up here. So if you see here on our website, this is petawise.com/training. This is where you'll be able to download recording of this webinar and files related to it. If you see our first webinar here, we have remote surveillance with Easy Cloud and Easy View. I have a more detailed, longer explanation about setting up shares and the proper way we recommend to do that. All right, does anyone else have any questions? We have, go ahead and you can go ahead and type it in chat or just speak up and let us know. Okay. I'm just going to run through actually a few things on our website because a couple of people maybe aren't familiar with what's available here on our website, and we actually do have quite a few support options available for you on our website. So here, like I said, this first page here is petawise.com/training, and or you can just click training at the top bar here, and here you can see this is where you can enroll for our webinars, and like I said, you can watch recordings of previous webinars here or download sort of a file package, like I said, I'm going to send out after this one here. But we also have a section under support here. We have our technical support section, which has quite a few sort of options available here. You can run through. This is where you can download Easy View. This is where you can download Easy Tools and Easy Station, Easy Player. We also have, from our technician section, we have a number of sort of documents that will assist you through running through any sort of process for setting up or troubleshooting certain things related to our NVRs and cameras. We have manuals available here, a couple of videos to demonstrate some of the more advanced settings on our NVRs, like VCA, cross-line detection, all this sort of thing. And we also have a couple of end-user documents available here with a link to our YouTube channel as well.
Can you show me how to reset?
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. I just gonna.
Okay. Does anyone have any more questions? If no one has any questions left over, then I think we're gonna end it here. But if you do have any questions that you think of in the future, you can always email us at support@petawise.com, and our support team will be able to answer any questions that you might have. So doesn't seem like there's any questions, so I'm just gonna finish it. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending our webinar. As I said, the recordings and the files will be uploaded to our website. You can also find any information and register for any upcoming webinars there as well. So again, thank you again for attending, and have a great day.